welcome back. I am just Shawnee, and if you're new, welcome here. Look here, y'all. I am tired. I am tired. If you couldn't tell, I am tired, but we're gonna do this thing. We're going in, okay, honey? Yes, honey, yes. Today we're gonna be watching TikTok scary stories, and this is definitely about to wake me up. Cause she gonna sleep with the lights on. She ain't even gonna go to sleep. I ain't even gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna stay up all night and then go to the gym, and then yeah, maybe I'll go to sleep after that. Oh, big news. Okay, so you remember I was telling you I published a book. So I published my weight loss book. I am about to publish my second book, and it's going to be a mystery, like horror story, scary mystery, because I do these videos. So I will, as soon as I publish it, I must probably post the pre-order link. So go ahead and cop that. It's good, y'all. It's good. I was just like, like, it's really good. Made a book. I'm excited. It's really good. Okay. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and ring that bell so you'll be notified every time I post a video. Let's go.
I lied. Because this story that I'm about to tell you is the scariest story I've ever heard. If you're new here, hi. I just talk about some pretty scary stuff, and recently I opened an email where anyone who finds this page would be able to submit their ghost stories. And let me tell you, not only have I been getting an abundance of stories that I have loved reading that are from every corner of the earth, these are actually scary. And what I mean by actually scary is exactly that. They actually freak me out. On my last video, I said this was the scariest story that I've ever heard. This one. So I just heard scratching, and as you can see, it's still day out, and that's the only time I really film these videos is during the day because I'm a scaredy cat. So I don't know what that's about, because I thought it was my boyfriend pranking me. So I looked outside and there's no one there. Only when I did the intro for this person. So I'm going to redo it, and if it happens again, I hope it's on video. So anyways, this story comes from Dakota, who opens the email like this. This is the story about a who disguised itself as a little girl and haunted me for 2 years. Dakota then gives us some background context and says that she's a medium. She has seen, felt, heard, and touched spirits since she was around 5 years old. Which in retrospect is really scary when you think about it. As she says, it all started when she was staying at her mom's house 2 hours away. She had a friend who lived right in front of the woods, and they decided to play hide and go seek. So Dakota finds a great hiding spot in between a shed and a chain link fence. And she says she was hiding, looks over to her right, and on the other side of the fence is a little girl staring at her. And as soon as her and this little girl made eye contact, the little girl reached through the chain link fence and grabbed her wrist. Dakota yanks her hand back and looks back at this little girl, and she is not there anymore. It is also to be noted that this was around fall time, so there were leaves on the ground and branches and twigs and etc. And she didn't hear anyone walk away or run. So Dakota runs out, tries to tell her friend what had happened, and her friend is just not having it because she's scared. Fast forward 2 months, and she's back at her dad's house and having a sleepover with an old friend. As Dakota and her friend are talking to each other on her bed, she looks over at the doorway, and the little girl is standing right in the doorway. She didn't really think anything about it because at the time, all the neighbor kids were allowed to just kind of walk in her house. And I know families like that, so I understand. But she did a double take, and the little girl was gone the next time she looked. She asked her friend, "Did you see someone?" And her friend said, "No, I didn't see anyone." And Dakota said, "Little did I know this was the beginning of a 2-year ordeal." Dakota says every day since then, she sees this little girl in her house. And this little girl did not talk. She just stared at Dakota a lot of the time. And sometimes she would only show half of her face from around the corner. And I'm going to quote this. But her favorite thing to do was watch me sleep. Dakota includes in her email that she likes sleeping in complete darkness, and the only thing that is radiating light in her room is her alarm clock that is blue. And she says every single night she would wake up and see this little girl standing in the doorway, watching her sleep. Dakota says that the most active this little girl was when she was home alone, cleaning her room. Dakota, while cleaning her room, looks over into the living room, and just for some context, She lives in a trailer, so it's completely open concept, so you can look through rooms. She looks into the living room and sees a little girl standing there watching her. As soon as they make eye contact, the little girl runs into the kitchen. So Dakota follows her. And once she goes into the kitchen, the little girl standing in front of the fridge. The moment they make eye contact, the little girl runs into her dad's room. So she goes into her dad's room. Nobody's there. She's looking around. Nothing. Hears a loud bang coming from the laundry room. Goes into the laundry room. Sees the little girl standing in front of the washer and dryer. Then she runs back into the kitchen, and Dakota didn't see her the rest of the day. And Dakota says that it was really common for this little girl to not speak ever, but she would want Dakota's attention, so she would run around and kick things and knock things off counters and slam cabinets, etc. But fast forward 2 years, and Dakota's obviously used to it by now, but she hasn't seen this little girl in 4 months. Until one day, she saw her in her dream, and it was Dakota's first lucid dream. Dakota says that she goes to sleep, wakes up, and everything in her dream feels so real. She turns over at the clock and it reads 3:16. When Dakota turns her head back around, there the little girl is. And she looks normal little girl that she's seen for the past 2 years at this point. And all of a sudden, this little girl starts to look really mangled and disgusting. She starts developing this smile and these teeth, and sprints at Dakota, where Dakota falls back in her bed and wakes up. Looks over at the clock, 3:16. Dakota gets up, goes to the bathroom, and as she's standing up from using the bathroom, the little girl's standing in the doorway. She looked like the same little girl that she's seen the past 2 years, until again, she looked really mangled and disgusting, and sprints at Dakota, where Dakota falls backwards, screaming. And they had this animal cage in their bathtub at the time that they were cleaning. Falls back on that, and she could feel the cage under her. But nonetheless, she wakes up again. And it is again 3:16 a.m. But at this point, Dakota is too scared to move and too scared to do anything, so she just sits there until the sun comes up, where she feels safe. Dakota then, that morning, started to feel this burning sensation on her back, goes and looks in the mirror, and there's a huge gash on her back from where she fell onto something. Her then best friend comes over later that day and also has spiritual connections, and tells her about this dream that she had where she was watching in third person, and verbatim describes the dream that Dakota had twice. And at this point in time, Dakota did not tell her what was going on. Dakota then ends her email by telling us that if you see a clock or a phone in your dream, it means you're not really dreaming. And as corny as it sounds, she really and truly believes that this little girl was disguised as trying to get her when she was in her most vulnerable state, sleeping. But that experience was 5 years ago, and she hasn't seen that little girl since. And this is all I'm going to say. I don't know how people deal with that stuff for years. I dealt with it for a month, and no. That story was really long. However, I think it was the best story I've read so far. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. Stay tuned for my ghost stories.
So yeah, there was a lot to unpack with that one. First of all, we were that house. We were that house where all the kids just came, because I was the only child. I was the only child, but I had half siblings and step siblings and stuff like that. But I was the only child my mom had. So as a kid, we was the kid house. Everybody in the neighborhood would come to our house. Mom would cook these big meals, and everybody would just hang out. And I had a lot of toys because I was only child, and I'm spoiled. Was spoiled, still spoiled. I am spoiled brat. My mom was just talking about that today, talking about, oh, you need to get your own water bottle when we go to the gym. What you mean? You gonna make the water? Why can't you grab it and take it to the car and hand it to me when I? I'm spoiled. Anyway, we were that house. So yeah, I understand that one, but that's weird. I don't know. Were people? Yeah, people just came over. Even if I wasn't there, they would come over just to play with my toys and stuff, and eat my mama's food. So yeah, friend. No, not cool. Cause I can't even imagine if I was young, a little baby, and all that's happening to me, like 5 or something. Like you playing hide and go seek, and this girl snatch you up. Oh, we'd be fighting. I know I was a little spicy thing when I was 5 years old. You gonna put your hands on me, bet. So yeah, that wasn't cool at all. And I'm trying to imagine her hand, but if she was young, you could fit through the little diamonds of the fence. So I could. Ooh, I'm not throwing up signs. I'm not Illuminati or nothing like that. Not throwing up signs. I'm just trying to, you know what I'm talking about. Those diamonds, you could fit your hand. So yeah, I could see that happening. But yeah, no, that's not cool. We ain't playing hide and seek no more. I don't know if I'm going to play with you anymore. I don't know if I'm gonna play outside anymore at my mama's house. You feel me? My friend's house. Like, no, that's weird. And watching you all the time, yeah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. If you ever felt like somebody's watching you, it's an uneasy feeling. It's just like, yeah, So you imagine that? No. And the fact that she had a dream that this is happening and then woke up in the dream. I've never woke up in my dream to have another dream to wake up again. Never had that. So that blew my mind. Like, what? You had this dream, it happens, and you wake up and you have the marks to prove that the second dream was real life. It's just like, what was happening there? And then your friend comes over and tells you verbatim what you experienced in that dream, and she wasn't there. You didn't even tell her. Oh, that's just so much. And about the clock thing, seeing clocks in your dreams, there's this one time in particular I remember looking at a clock, because I've always heard that it's like, if you'll never see a clock, you won't see time in your dreams. But this one particular time I saw a clock. So maybe it was just me making up stuff in my mind, like I was like determined to see one, or what, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't really asleep. You let me know if you've ever seen a clock in your dream, or ever experienced a dream where you wake up in the dream to go back to sleep to wake up. Apparently you wake up and then like, comment below and follow these creators.
I was gonna try to wait till October, but I just absolutely can't. Let's tell a ghost story. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have heard of the Basin Park Hotel. It is in Eureka Springs. It became very popular because it was built on top of these healing waters. It was built in 1905. It was literally built on the side of a mountain. Very, very, very popular, right in the middle of downtown Eureka Springs, Arkansas, people, Arkansas. Now, back in the day, the owner, Joe Parkhill, I think his name was, he did a lot of things that were against the law. It was during Prohibition, a lot of gambling, slot machines. He served alcohol, and apparently he had a lot of mobsters there. So naturally, a lot of shit went down. Fast forward to last year during Halloween time, I decided to take my son and I to a haunted house, and Eureka Springs isn't too far away. And I also want to clarify, I am was very much a non-believer, skeptic. You could not change my mind. I've been to plenty of like different haunting things, loving Halloween, taken pictures, got nothing, saw nothing. But we were getting in the spirit last year. So I was like, let's go, love Halloween as much as me. Like, let's do this. And so we got in our car and headed to Eureka. So the Basin Park Hotel in Eureka Springs has ghost tours every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the Fridays and Saturdays, they're at midnight, which is super cool, right? Because I have a preteen and he's like, oh, I can stay up late. And it was really cool for him. So I picked him up from school. We headed out. We were going to the Friday night midnight tour. So when we get there, it's like 6 o'clock. I go, I check in. They were super, super nice. But we ended up being on the 3rd floor, which if you go do your research on this stuff, the 307, I think the room 307 is supposed to be like the most active room in the hotel. Thank God we did not get that room, but we were, I think 305, which I want to know, like 305 was like a weird room. Maybe it was 303. I don't remember. It's right off the elevators and you're not like in the hallway. It's like catty corner. So right off the bat, red flag. It's like a weirdly laid out room. It's not like it's not in the hallway. You're like angled to get in the hallway. So we have the key. It's like old school. We have the key, we unlock, we go in, and I am not gonna lie to you, like the vibes of this like room were not cool. And maybe that's their intention, right? Because like the lights were very dim. It's very old school. The bathroom is very, very dim as well. It's very cold. We put down our stuff. I wouldn't say anything's crazy, but again, let's note this. My son saw something on a YouTube channel to bring a deck of cards, and he thought that it was really cool because this hotel and the ghosts that were in it were, gamblers and like mobsters, and they played cards, and he thinks he's going to communicate with spirits with this deck of cards. And I'm like, whatever, do what you got to do, bring them, it's fine, and nothing's going to happen. I'm hungry. Can we like wrap this up? So he has his cards, he takes them out of his bag, he sets them down. We have our stuff out, we kind of like lay out whatever, unpack a little bit, and head out for dinner. We wrap up in the room, and again, his card case are neatly stacked next to the TV on the console, and we are ready to go eat dinner. We were going to go out, and we decided to stay in. They have a cute little restaurant on the 5th floor. There's a balcony. It overlooks the street. It was perfect weather. The sun was like setting. It was just really adorable. And we spent all of dinner Googling like guest accounts, asking the staff, the waitress, the bartender, just their encounters, which was really fun to hear. And he's getting all hyped up, and I'm like, meh, either it happened or it didn't. I don't know at this point. I'm just along for the ride. But it was really nice dinner, and we finish eating. It's time to go back downstairs. I need to put away like sunglasses, things like that, because it's starting to get dark. And I'm like, oh God, I need to drink coffee because we have to be up till midnight, for this tour. We go back downstairs to the room, and I am almost out of time. So like, follow, and I will be making a part 2 shortly. Are we ready for part 2? Today's episode is brought to you by the most adorable little microphone I have ever purchased or used. I feel very special and important with my microphone. So we recently left off after dinner at the Basin Park Hotel, where we were headed back down to our hotel room so that I could put up any sunglasses, extra things that I didn't want to haul around for the ghost tour at midnight that night. So we go back down to the 3rd floor. Again, our room is right off the elevator, kind of catty corner, not a normal room in a hallway like you would expect any other hotel room to be. And the weird thing is when we walked in was that the fan was on and the bathroom door was shut, which I'm a weirdo, and I would never shut a door to a hotel room because, again, I'm a weirdo and I want to see everything when I walk in. It's like I'm a little paranoid. And also, I'm always cold. I would have never turned on the fan. The AC was barely on. Like, I set that thing to like 78. I'm basically an old person. The fan was on, the bathroom door was shut. I know I used the bathroom before we left for dinner, but I would not have shut the door on the way out. So weird, but maybe I did. I don't know. I put down all my stuff. Or like, how are we going to kill 2 hours? It's only 10. How are we going to kill 2 hours and wait for this ghost tour? If we stay here, I'm 100% going to fall asleep. So we decided to go up to the game room upstairs. That's right next to the restaurant and bar. The bar connects the game room to the restaurant. Perfect location. I can get a beer. We can play some games, kill some time before the ghost tour. We get in there, and there's one other, like, I think it was a little boy and a little girl. Anyway, they're going on the ghost tour too. It was not crowded. Everyone was in there playing shuffleboard. They had some board games out. It was very peaceful, but it was a little eerie. Like we were the only ones in there. It's a pretty big room and it's like a library style, tons of books, two doorway openings, right? So like one's going into the bar, one's going into the restaurant. Um, my son didn't, nothing fazed him. I was creeped out. So naturally, when you're creeped out, you go get a beer. I go into the bar area that is surrounded in windows, which immediately I get my camera out and say, this is the perfect time to take pictures, right? Reflections, maybe I can catch a ghost because, I don't believe in them. And I start snapping away while I'm in line to get a beer. The 2 hours goes by so fast. Done. It's time for the ghost tour. We head up there a little bit early. We get off the elevator. It is pitch black. Nobody is up there. Again, we're early, so understandable. When you get off the elevator, you can either go left or right. You're in this like little in-between area where you could enter the ballroom or you go into like this greenhouse area and then onto the roof. So we're like, okay, cool, let's like start taking pictures, and we're just kind of hanging out in this little area. And out of the corner of my eye, I see something like in the ballroom, like walk past the door. And I'm like, oh, that must be the tour guide. So we start walking like towards the double doors, and immediately when we turn to walk, the elevator opens and it's the tour guide. And she's like, oh, hey, you guys are the first ones here. And we're like, I think like there's some people setting up in the ballroom. So we go and we walk in. There is no one there. And I look at my son and he looks at me. It's like, I know that you know that we saw. Okay, maybe it's a shadow, but here we go. And naturally, I'm running out of time. So please like, follow, share. Part 3 is where it's going to get good. Part 3 coming at you from a cozy bed. So let's recap a little bit. We are in Eureka Springs at the Basin Park Hotel where my son and I are about to go on the midnight ghost tour. We were the first people upstairs in the ballroom where we saw a shadow, where we only assumed it was people setting up. It was not. So fast forward a couple minutes and they have the chairs and the presentation set up for the beginning of the tour. They then hand out these EVP machines which read energy, which will signify a presence when you are around the ghost or whatever. We start in the ballroom, which, cool, we're already there, but they have this doll that's set up, and apparently there is a little girl that haunts the ballroom that is attracted to this little doll. It's very Victorian Creepers Annabelle-ish. But naturally the kids go crazy, right? So they're all in this circle with the doll in the middle. Some people are getting reads, like beeping. You can walk around. There were several people were getting hits around tables, under tables. Meh. It was okay. The kids loved this part. Again, the ballroom is surrounded in windows. So I'm just walking around taking pictures because I'm still on this high from seeing a shadow, knowingly seeing a shadow, and then no one being in there. So afterwards, we go back towards the elevator and you enter this green room, which then takes you up onto the roof where they tell you the story about someone falling off the roof. It was about lovers maybe, and there's supposedly like a bride and then maybe a gentleman that's up there haunting it. It's this whole spiel. Besides it being like, you can see the side of the mountain and it just goes down and down and down and down. Like it's a long drop. So it's a little creepy, right, in and of itself, but it wasn't like I felt much until we got on the stairwell to go downstairs. Now, when you get in the stairwell to head downstairs, it's tight and there was quite a bit of people, so maybe that's why it felt tighter than normal, but all the doors have like a glass window. So again, I'm taking pictures. Everyone's going down in a single file line. There's a lot of other people taking pictures as well. And where do we go? We stop on the 3rd floor. So we come out of the stairwell only to see my room front and center. And I look at my son and my son looks at me And they start to tell us that about the floor being the most active, along with room 307, which is not our room, but we are on the same floor. And about the gentleman ghosts who you will hear walking up and down the hallways at night. And the reason why it is the most active is because he is known to pull the covers off guests and pull on their feet, touch their arm, sink the bed. Very active, more poltergeisty, if you will. So I'm like, okay, so we are on the most active floor. Fine. I don't believe in ghosts, right? I don't believe in ghosts. But if you tell me that there is a chance that someone is going to touch my foot or pull my covers in the middle of the night, I immediately start to panic. I've seen enough movies where we're borderline, like, I'm not okay. I'm not okay with this. We carry on. We start walking down the hallway, and me and my son have not got an EVP read at all up to this point. And we pass our door and turn the corner, and his goes ballistic. Beep, 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 like crazy ballistic. And we are still on the wall of where our room would be. So naturally, thoughts start flooding my head. Like, my feet are going to get touched tonight. What am I going to do? Like, what happens if something happens? This is obviously like a sign. What is happening? And then we get down to the end of the hallway and we look at the mirror and there's a little child handprint on it. Which, cool. There's kids staying at the hotel, but this hand is very, very, very tiny, like a little baby hand. And again, my little reader starts going nuts. I have to head out to brunch, guys, so stay tuned for part 4. There's some doozies in it. Like, follow, and I'll see you soon.
Bro, I didn't see a part 4. Yeah, I didn't see a part 4, but y'all, go to her TikTok and see if you see a part 4, because she had just posted these. These are kind of new. These are kind of new. These were like posted like last month, so they probably, she's probably still posting stuff and other stuff. Yeah, honey. Let's talk about the first day. The first day we need to talk about is the fact that she doesn't look like a mom. She looks, if she's a mom, she's a MILF. Like, she look fine. She look young, honey. She does not look old enough to have a preteen, honey. Like, what? Especially with her hair pulled back. Honey, you are doing it. What's your skincare routine, boo-boo? Like, honey. So, let's think about this for a second. Because I know y'all spooky bitches out there. Any of y'all spooky bitches, I know a few of y'all got some kids. Y'all doing that tour with y'all kids? Just you and your kid? Because, just coming from hearing from my mom, we went on a lot of trips by ourselves, and she used to hate it. She used to be like, I hate doing solo trips with just me and you, because she would be a little nervous. It's just me and her. She would be like, especially when I was younger, when we went on solo trips, she'd be like, I don't want anything to happen and you have to fend for yourself, especially when we're so far away. So yeah, any of y'all would y'all do that? Comment below. Would you go on a spooky adventure? Honey, I wouldn't. I don't even know if I would do it now. I don't know. Because I'm a little scaredy cat. Literally. Scaredy cat. So yeah, the fact that y'all got there and your son is talking about, oh, I brought some cards because I did some research. I love that y'all did research, but it wasn't good enough to be like, maybe we should bring some more people, or maybe we should rethink this. Like, I need more research to be done, because mom was just like, ain't nothing really gonna happen. This is gonna be a cool little thing to get my son in the spooky mood, like me. October season, how y'all doing? No. No. So the fact y'all went out, got real stories, life events from people who experienced it, who's been working there, which I'm pretty sure they was like, yeah, this is my first month. Because like, some people are built for it, but some people like me, I would have been gone maybe the first day. But like, you already heard the real life experiences. You come back and things are out of order. doors shut, because I don't know about y'all, but in a hotel room, I never closed the bathroom door. Never. Like, the last hotel we were at in Dominican Republic, I don't even think it had a door. Like, there's what? We're not shutting doors unless like it's a cruise or something, and you're, using the bathroom, or you didn't functify it up, so you have to close the door. Like, there's no reason to close the door. And a fan? You notice stuff like that, especially when you're away from your home, your comfort zone. This is a new place, so you notice those things. So honey, yeah, right then and there, you're going on this tour now. And before you even start, you see somebody, honey, what? But that's what you came for. That's what you signed up for. So I can't even be saying anything. You can't even get scared. You can't be mad. You can't even be feeling any type of way. Like, that's what you signed up for. You signed up for this. So what are we doing, Fred? Endangering yourself. Trying to get got. Okay, cool. Go see part 4. Don't forget to follow these creators and subscribe.